What's going on? It's your favorite guy, Demetrius Naylor, on another episode of Nailed It. Guys, I'm sweaty. Getting ready to head back to North Carolina, but before I do, I wanted to stop in here. It's something that's been on my mind all day. We did some awesome training with the guys in the morning. We did call center. For anybody that's worked with me before in the BDC knows call center. We spend some money, we make some calls, we have a good time, we play some music, it gets loud, people get a little crazy. But the biggest thing I want to talk to you today about is the fact that you have to be able to pivot, to be able to stay in existence during this time frame. A lot of people are more worried about getting sick than pivoting in order to succeed. Guys, you are not going to be able to do what you did before and succeed. You are going to have to do something different. You are going to have to push yourself in a different direction. Case in point, if we take a look back in my life, and I always use myself as an example because for me, this is a journey. For you to follow me is a blessing, and I appreciate you greatly. But what we're talking about today is the fact that you have to be able to pivot in order to stay relevant. You have to pivot like Jay-Z has done over the years, or like any Grant Cardone. Use Grant Cardone. Went from sales hustlers, went from like selling and hustling to dealerships to now Cardone Capital. I mean, you talk about any of the greats, any of the big names that you can think about. In order to stay relevant, they had to pivot. Right now, in order to survive, dealerships, people, your faith, everything is going to have to pivot. It's crazy to me that I find so many people that claim that they are so spirit-filled and this and that, but they're the same ones that are robbing other people of the opportunity to get toilet paper at the store. And that's basically what you're doing. If you're stocking up 65 cases of toilet paper and stealing toilet paper from every store, not stealing, but purchasing it, and somebody else can't get it, you're robbing the other person of the opportunity to provide for themselves or their family. I digress. What we're talking about really is pivoting. You have to be able to pivot to stay relevant. You have to turn around and say, you know what, this worked because that was the flow. That was the way things were going. That it was easy. The market was easy. Income, economy, everything was up. Now everything's tightened. The Dow's lost over 10,000 points in the last week. So what do you do to change? Today we decided that this week we decided that we're going to focus on phone training. I don't think enough dealers pay enough attention to phone training. We don't get into being on the phone, helping out, calling just to say, are you okay? A lot of times what people need to know is just that somebody cares. So that's what we're focusing on our little team. And that is what we're trying to do in order to pivot to be successful during this time of economic recession, where people are pulling back, social distancing. We are still open for business. We are still working, and we still have bills to pay, just like everybody else. But we in this time are pivoting in order to change our strategy to stay relevant to the market. The market changes and adapts. Think about your life. How many times over your lifespan have you had to change or adapt to a situation, or even just grow up to meet the situation in which you're in? I ask you, are you willing to pivot in order for success? Because if not, you need to think about it. You need to think about where you're at and where you're trying to go, and is the direction and the flow of your energy, because where your energy flows, success will go. So if you're not willing to pivot, what are you willing to do to get to the next level? That's the question I'll leave you with today. I'm getting on the road, headed back to North Carolina, see my family. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a great Friday. I hope everybody that's out there in the sales game and they're still working, that you guys are still crushing it. And if not, hit me up. We have some spots available. I love you guys. God loves you guys. Have a great day.